Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome, guys. We'll get started shortly here. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. We'll get started shortly. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, guys. We'll get started shortly. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, guys. We'll get started shortly. This evening is Q&A. So Q&A. We'll get started shortly. Q&A this evening. Q&A. We'll get started shortly. All right. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Hey, Joe. Welcome. Hey, Dean. Welcome. All right, guys. As you know, on Mondays we do Q&A. I want to share my screen here. Before we get started, any questions, guys? Any questions on anything before we get started here? This is Q&A, so this is your opportunity to ask any questions, whether it's on the markets, right? And the markets, the systems, anything in general. Hey, Stella, welcome, welcome. We had good news. We had good news today, guys. We started a new rotation today. All right, and we talked about this last night, and it's amazing how things change, right? So we got a lot of buy signals on the yen pairs. All right, so we'll talk about that. And we also got some buy-in. We were hoping to get some buy-in on the indexes, so the Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ. So we'll take a look at those markets. Let's start with, we'll start here. Right here with.
Hey, hi there. Okay.
Hey, Dean, go ahead.
Hey, how you doing? No, you're fine. You're good. You're starting well. I was gonna ask you, can we look at this first to see? My question is, and should I even care? my question is, what changed that made the yen just switch on today? And I noticed it switched on, I guess, early this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I held off a bit. I was waiting for confirmation on the 240,
Okay.
and I spoke to Gerald. He jumped into it. I was like, well, I'm jumping into, but um, I was on the 240. He was on the 60, so he got the buy signal on the 60, and I
Yes.
was waiting for confirmation on the 240. But
Okay.
my question really is, does this correlate with anything to do with the yen, and how do we, you know, look into that?
When you say the yen, hey Deborah, welcome. Are you referring to the yen itself or the pairs?
The well, the yen and the pairs, more so the yen, or is there anything that you would have identified from this tracker to identify, oh well, that's why, this is why, from a high
Uh,
level?
not really. Um, we talked about this last night. I don't you weren't at last night's training.
Right.
But we noticed um that Forex, and I'd send out a message that if we look here in Monster Scalper, we only had let's see here. Uh, we only had 14, right? 14 pairs out of 57. Hey, Ranjit, welcome. Uh, so then we had here, so from here to here, right? We
Yeah.
had only 14 pairs,
Mm-hmm.
right? And most of which were the CAD pairs, right? That were above 20, all right? All the rest, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the way down to about, we track 57 pairs. So
Right.
out of 57 pairs, only 14 were trending. And, so this is a tight consolidation. So
Yeah.
I mean, the 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 number one thing we can look at is how if the market is consolidating, and this is considered a really tight consolidation, right? To have only
Mm-hmm.
14 pairs. So at some point, right, we know we'll get a breakout. Anytime the markets consolidate like this tightly, we'll get a
Yeah.
breakout. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we can look at, we don't use this. We can look at the yen itself, and let's see. I haven't looked at it, but let's see if we can find anything here. One second here. All right. So if we go here, hold on. All right. So if we go to right here. All right. So let's see here. Where's the yen? Here's the yen, the Japanese yen in the futures market. Let's see if we have anything here. All right. So the yen is moving higher. We got a buy signal here, but I wouldn't use that. I wouldn't use that. That's not a, usually what happens, usually the cross pairs, so the yen pairs, usually when they go up, the yen goes lower. So I guess if you wanted to look for a correlation, then it would be the consolidation. Okay, so just know that when price consolidates tight, really, really tight, which it's been doing, all right, the Forex market, expect a breakout. And we talked about that last night, right? Hey, Zaire, welcome. It happened quickly, right? But it could have, lasted a bit longer. All right. Does that help at all? I know that doesn't give a lot of information, but does that help, Dean?
Oh yes, sorry, I was on mute. Yes, it
Okay.
does. Sorry, I always ask the why. There's always something behind the scenes, and It's just me. Sorry.
Yeah, there is. I'm sure there's data. Now we don't follow the data, right? Hey, Gerald,
Hmm.
welcome. We don't follow. I'm sure there's data out there, right? I'm sure there's
Yeah.
some news, whether it's interest rates or whatever. I'm sure there's news out there, right? That will help the yen. You guys, if
Right.
you know, there are calendars out there, news calendars out there
Mhm.
that will show the news. So there might have been
Right.
news. Usually the yen, having to do with the yen, the news usually comes out um, around this time or later in the evening.
Yeah.
This is the Asian market. So news might have
Hmm.
come out to
Okay.
help the yen pairs. But we don't pay it. We'll see it. We'll see it in the price action. You know, we'll see it in the price action. All
Thank you.
right. Um, there is one indicator that we track. Let's see here. And I hope I don't have issues with TradeStation this evening. It was running perfect earlier. Let's see here. Okay. Let's see here. I don't have the, okay, we can go here. We can go back here. All right. We didn't track the dollar. So we do track the dollar index. So rather than the yen, we do track the dollar. There is a correlation. Okay. So there is a correlation. When the dollar, let's look here. And I don't want to confuse you guys too much. Hey, Oslo, welcome. All right. So the yen pairs, this is a good correlation. All right. So the New Zealand pairs, if you guys can see it here, and then the Aussie, the New Zealand, the Kiwi, Aussie, and the yen pairs, all right, they're all part of that Asian group. All right. So Australia, New Zealand, and the yen right here.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
All right. Right here, then they all go together.
Yeah.
All right. So their market is opening up
Uh,
now.
yeah.
All right. All right. The dollar pairs and the euro pairs, they tend to go together. All right.
Got it.
And their market, so the dollar, um, the so the Asian session, right? Asian session here up here. The New York
Yeah.
session, all right, that opens up around 8:30 a.m. our time, all
Mhm.
right, and then the Euro or the London session, right, will open up along with the Great Britain session, opens up around 3 a.m. in the morning, all right. So the pound tends to do its own thing, all right. The euro and the dollar run together, all right, and then these here run together. When a good way to know that things are really moving in the right direction is when this happens. So if you guys, when you pay attention to your monster scalper, and you don't necessarily have to have this to trade, just this right here, right, is that's good enough. This right here, if we can have this whole group here, right, in one direction like it's doing here, that's good,
Mhm.
right? That's really, really good. That gives us a lot of direction. And then if we can have
Yes.
the dollar and the euro group right here, all right, forget the pound for a second. But if this is all red, if you guys ever see where this is all red, where it's down, or all blue, okay, if it's all red or blue, that's solid direction. That's
Mhm.
real confirmation, Dean. All right, and everyone else.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Yeah.
if it's all blue here, all blue, which means it's moving up, going up, and then this is all red, solid. That's really good. All right. If we have a really, if we breaking out, right? If we have a trend, a new rotation, right? Which I gotta say, Gerald, with Gerald on here, Gerald called this rotation, guys. All right, Gerald called this, right? Gerald sent me a text and say, "Hey, David, I think we've got a rotation." When you guys, when you got, you are onto something really good when you start trading. When you guys, when you start anticipating the buy signals, like here, you start anticipating the buy signals. But when you start calling these rotations, right? And some of you have started to do that. That's really good. That's really good. So I was really excited to hear from Gerald, all right, that and this is out of the blue, right? If you guys remember, we talked about this last night, that, right, price was consolidating, that we might get, at some point in time, we might get a rotation. And I told, we talked about it. It can happen quickly. And it sure did happen very, very quickly. All right.
Mm.
All right. So good job, Gerald, in timing this rotation, calling the rotation. And when we look at, and Gerald and I, we talked about it, and we looked at the buy signal. So I want to show you guys how we confirm a a, a, a rotation. All right. Din, does that help, Din? Your question?
Oh yes, absolutely, absolutely. And I want to
Okay.
thank Gerald too because I reached out to Gerald and I said, "Hey, you know, I see this, but I don't see it on the 240. I see it on the 60, and I'm holding off." He goes, "Oh yeah, I bought this morning." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah. Yeah. And you guys, kind of get together, and I do that a lot, kind of pair you guys up. And Bill and Zaire, you guys work really good together. Sometimes I'm always available for you guys, but it's really good if you can kind of partner up, because if more eyes are looking at these markets, right, you guys will, can pick up some really good
Yeah.
tips. All right. So this is how we look at finding a rotation. And again, Gerald did a really good job. The yen pairs, if we look at the yen pairs here, all right, and again, we're coming from a very tight consolidation. All right, so I'm going to go through these yen pairs, and this is on the 240. All right, we don't do it on the 60-minute time frame. It's not enough. It's just not solid enough. Oh, second. All right. All right. So we want to, at least on the 240.
David,
On
you do it on the six. You do it on the 240 or the 60.
on the 240. On the
Okay,
240. Yes, on the
less
240.
noise, less
Yeah, less
fluctuation.
noise. Yes, yes, less noise. The daily, it's a bit too far, right? We might miss a lot of the move if we do it on the daily. The 240 is really good. It's a really good. Once you get really you've done it for a while, you might be able to time it a bit like Gerald did on the 60. Okay, but we need real confirmation on the 240. Okay, and what we look for, we need about at least 75-80%. Hey Chris, welcome. All right, so we need 75-80% of the pairs giving buy signals. All right, and then we can call a rotation. 3 pairs, not gonna do it. 5 pairs, not gonna do it. All right.
Mm.
All
Mhm.
right. We can still trade. We could still trade a bit, right? But for real rotation, to put real capital to work, and I'm not saying go out and load up. I'm just saying, right? When we have a rotation, we really pay attention, all right, to what the market is doing. All right. So let's go through this. All right. So here's the first one here. That's dollar yen. Dollar yen. We do not have a buy signal, but guys, put this on your radar. Dollar yen, right? Markdown phase, right? And for Forex, this is not a bad markdown phase, right? Breaking resistance. We could get a buy signal soon there. All right. All right. ZAR yen, no buy signal yet. Okay. TRY JPY, TRY JPY. We have a buy signal. We have one buy signal. No, we have 11 pairs. All right. We have 11 pairs. So when we call these rotation, we don't just randomly call these rotations, right? Nice markdown phase, right? So look here, just like when we look at stocks, right? We want that, nice markdown phase, a lot of good selling. All right. Let's see
A
here.
quick question, Dave. So
Yes.
right off the bat on that buy signal, so it broke resistance right down there at the bottom, and it looks like it has two more levels of resistance before it can shoot up into that. Am I looking at that right?
Okay. So what's your question?
Right. So it broke resistance, so we got the buy signal, right?
Right here. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So is it that first level of resistance there that it broke? Right there. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's take a
Then
quick look.
like another level. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So your resistance is right here. Right here is your resistance.
Right there. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's your resistance right there. So it
Yeah.
broke resistance right here. Yeah. Okay. TRY JPY. So that we have one buy signal. SGD JPY, we've got a buy signal on that one. So we have a second buy signal here. Here's your buy signal here. All right. If you don't have and sometimes this will happen where you do not have a resistance line right here, just go to your left and you'll find it. All right. So here is your resistance right here. This right here, this resistance line right here, you just bring that over. That's your resistance. Okay. That's your resistance. So that's two right there. NZD, JPY. Okay, NZD that has a buy signal here. All right, it's had a buy signal for a while here, and here it is moving higher here. All right, so that's three. We've got 3 out of 11. All right, HKD, JPY. So we're counting those buy signals. So now we have a fourth buy signal here. And this is a good buy signal, HKD, JPY, right?
I like this one.
Right, a nice markdown phase. We'll take these, right? In equities, right? We can get a smoother markdown phase with the volatility in Forex. We'll take this, right? Even if we, got some consolidation a bit in here, we'll still take this. All right. And when we want to enter, guys, right? And you'll have time. Every candle here is 4 hours, right? 4 hour time frame. So you have enough time. There's no real rush. All right. Especially when we get in the rotations early like this. This is early. This just happened today. All right.
Yeah.
But this is your entry right here. It gets up to this area here. In that markup phase, too late, right? Too late. All right. So we've got 4. Let's go to the next one. Pound yen, all right? Pound yen is always a favorite. Resistance here, buy signal right here. It's moving up nicely in the markup phase. All right. A bit tricky here because it's near the high. It's near, it's trading higher. You're gonna trade these, find the ones that are, nice markdown phase. Not that this is not tradable. We could still trade this.
Yeah.
Hey, Taj, welcome. All right, so we've got 5 so far. 5 so far. Okay, so let's keep going. Out of 11. All right, so Euro yen. Euro yen, we've got another buy signal here. Break of resistance. This is our resistance right here. Resistance right here. Right here is our candle. This candle right here, but this triangle, I know it's hard to see. This triangle right here, is where the system gave us the buy signal right here on this break right here. All right. It's not exact, but it works really well. All right. So we've got 6 now, right? 6 out of 11. All right. We need about 75, 80%. Swiss yen. All right. Swiss yen. You see what's happening? You guys see what's happening? Any questions on what's happening? What I'm doing right here? Number 7. We got 7 here. Any questions on what I'm doing here? Okay, let's keep going. All right. CAD yen. All right. You guys should write this down. Those of you with Monster Scalper, write this one down. CAD yen, really nice markdown phase.
Really
all
good
right.
one.
Good support. We should get, if price holds, right, we should get a buy signal overnight on this one here. CAD yen. All right. No buy signal yet on that one. All right. And then the last one, but keep it on your radar for a buy signal. Do not get in until we get a buy signal. All right. And then this one here, Aussie yen buy signal right here. And now it's moving higher. All right. We did not have a buy signal. The last buy signal was right here. That was 1018. 1018 was the last buy signal. All right. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8. So 8 out of 11 pairs giving buy signals. So what's the lesson here? What's the market telling us? What's the market telling us?
It's beginning to make a I don't know if that's the right word, decision on the direction that it's going in, especially for the yen and the Aussie pairs.
Okay,
It's
well,
breaking out of validation and going into buy, I guess, uptrend, if you will.
okay,
Unless it's too early to tell, you know. Is it
okay.
going to retest?
Well, we're too far ahead, right? Let's go. So what's the yen? So we're gonna focus. Forget the Aussie, right? Because we're looking at right here the yen pairs. We have 80%. All right. So about 80% of the pairs give buy signals. All right. All have buy signals. And Gerald contacted me and said, "Hey, Dave, looks like we have a rotation." And he was pretty excited about it. Why was he excited? Why was he excited?
The yen pairs were changing I mean, so on the right hand side, I guess it added, we were down to 14. I think it added 3 or 4, brought it up to, well, actually more than that, because I think it brought it up to 19.
Okay.
And then when you looked at the yen pairs, they're all pretty much trending up. I think they were neutral when I looked at them earlier, but they were all trending up.
Okay. Okay. And guys, come on now, help me out here. All right. When do we enter trades? When do we enter trades? And when do we exit? When do we enter trades? And when do we exit? When do we buy? When do we buy?
Yeah, buy signal.
Yeah, and a buy signal, but what else? What else is happening? What else is happening?
It's broken out of consolidation.
Okay, so it's breaking out of consolidation. And what does it need to break?
Resistance.
It needs to break resistance. Very good. It needs to break resistance. So we need to be clear. We need to be specific. All right? Because when Gerald and I looked at this today, right? we went through this exercise. We counted every single pair, right? And the only thing we were looking for buy signals. And the only reason we got buy signals because the price what broke resistance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, nothing else matters, right? So when we looked at this today, the only thing, so when Gerald said, "Hey Dave, it looks like we got a new rotation," right? And I've had a busy day, so I wasn't paying attention to it, and I'm glad he contacted me. All right, I've been on with TradeStation all day long, all day long. All right, so when he contacted me, the first thing, now I was excited with him, but then we went. I said, "Okay, Gerald, let's take a look," and we counted each just like we went through here, and we looked at every pair, right? And we weren't analyzing the chart. The one thing we were looking for, all right, and that's how he knew, that's how Gerald knew, all right, that we had a buy signal, that we might have a new rotation, all right, because he saw all these buy signals coming in, coming in, coming in. That's how you know, and that's what you guys need to do. All right. It's one thing if I tell you guys, hey, we've got a new rotation. All right. But boy, is much better when you can see it for yourself. Right. Right. Okay. So when yes, it's a buy signal, but why? Why do we hey Dennis, welcome. Why are we getting buy signals? We getting buy signals because what? Guess what? Buyers are coming in, and we know buyers are coming in because what? Prices, they're a breaking resistance. All right. And we're entering, right? We've been through that markdown phase, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now, right, we're breaking resistance. We've been through that markdown phase. We're going through accumulation, okay? And now we're getting into that markup phase. So when we say, hey, look at pay attention to CAD yen, right? And look at here. Look at this. Did we just get a buy signal on CAD yen?
Yep. We just
Yeah.
got a live,
Yeah.
that is a live buy signal that we all just saw pop up.
Yeah.
And if that's not a confirmation, then that's the good thing about rotations. It's not that, rotations are this or that. It just confirms where our capital should be, because the last thing we want to do is lose capital, although losing capital is part of the game, but we don't want to lose capital. So the thing is, the rotations just confirms. Listen, guys, the buyers are buying yen. We don't control the buyers. We just look at what the buyers are doing and we follow what the buyers are doing. They're buying yen. How long are they going to buy yen? No one knows. But the system would tell us. The monster scalper would tell us how long they're going to be buying yen. We just gotta look at our systems.
Yeah. Thanks, Gerald. Now, look here. Look here. And that's why I always say, pay attention, right? Do not, especially during these consolidations, right? After consolidations, that's when the trends happen, right? So the markets will trend, whether it's Forex, stocks, whatever, it will trend, all right, and then consolidate. And you guys have heard Brian talk, right? Brian really likes to get the pairs down in here, right? But we don't just get into those pairs randomly. We've got to wait for those rotations. Now, that doesn't mean we don't trade, right? Right? They've been a decent run in the CAD. So that doesn't mean, but understand the environment that you're in. All right. And look here, what if we weren't paying attention, right? What if Gerald wasn't paying attention? I know I wasn't paying attention, right, today. But what if Gerald wasn't paying attention, right? and we just go along, especially our traders with Monster Scalper. If we are trading Monster Scalper, we have there's so much money to be made here. Even the CAD pairs, right? The CAD pairs did really, really well. All right. So if you've invested in the system, right, in Monster Scalper, you guys have to put your systems to work, especially when things are setting up like this. And there's no guarantee, right? There's no guarantee that it's gonna just take. But guess what? This is a low risk trade. All right. Now we've got 9. Listen now. We had 8. Now we've CAD yen now. We have 9 pairs. We have 9 pairs out of 11 with buy signals and moving higher. The reason why we got a buy signal here is the price is breaking out. It's moving higher. Buyers are entering. We'll take this risk. This is not a gamble. We're not trading here. We're not trading here, right? We're not even trading here. We're right here. This is
The
all.
craziest thing is, David, whenever the CAD pairs was trading last week and the week before, from the 11th of November all the way up to now, I'd say really a month now. For 30 days, is the CADs was really trading. The good thing about that is we didn't have any rotations or any major trends to follow outside of the CAD. Dean and I was talking about the ZAR. There is a movement in the ZAR going on right now.
There is a movement in the ZAR, yes.
But we don't look at the ZAR as the better trade, because the better trade will have to be the yen pairs because of the confirmation of the buy.
Yes.
Even though that may be some opportunity. Yeah, Dean and I was talking about that earlier today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever so it's a great setup here. Great trade setup here. Great trade. Great trade.
How big do you want it to go?
Great trade. What's that, Otto?
What target number do you want it to get?
As far as it can go. As far as it can go. As far as it can go. We do have some resistance here. All right. But we'll let it go until we get some exit signals, right? But we got some resistance here. So this might be a concern. Okay. But if it gets from here to here, all right, that's about 500 pips, 500% roughly. Okay. And then we have some concern in here, some consolidation in here. But we've got pretty good room, okay, for this to run. And remember, it fell. Forex works like this. You guys will notice it does like this. All right. So nice markdown phase. There's a good chance it will get, it'll move back higher. All right. But also don't go and put 10 grand on this. I have to say that when Audley is here, I've got to make that disclaimer. All right, go ahead, Dean. You had a question.
I was just saying that so looking at I'm looking at the right side of the screen. So is that a good discount that we're getting at? Like, what is it, 101? Could potentially go to 110 with a few bumps, but it looks like it would be a solid run based on the markdown phase prior.
Yeah. So our job is to take the trade. Our job is to, first of all, right, catch the rotations early. Gerald did. And I'm going to call, this is Gerald's rotation. All right. Gerald's rotation. All right. So if you guys make a lot of money, take him out for coffee. All right. Starbucks.
Yeah, you got it.
All right. All right. Because I wasn't paying attention today. All right.
Well, we're going to need Otto to drop that 10 grand. That'd be awesome.
Okay. So our job is to do this, Dean. And Otley, you too, right? Forget about where it could go. And yeah, we always want to look at where, right? But our job is to do this, right? Pay attention, right? Catch the rotation early. right? And that's why I said, even if you guys are, if you're on vacation, I have missed a lot of good trades on vacation. All right. I don't do that. I don't do that anymore. I have my phone, right, with me even on vacation, right? So I can log in. You guys know you can use any desk, you can log in anywhere. All right. Um, so the goal is to catch the rotation, right? Like Gerald did. All right. And catch it early. Catch them early, right? Get in your job, wait for the buy signals, right? Get in, and then that's it. You just sit back and let it do its thing. Your protection is here, right? If it breaks, if it moves up like this here, comes back, right? Breaks, resistance becomes support, you'll get a sell signal here to get out. That's okay. It's what we do. It's trading. You guys know this, right? Right. If it doesn't break, if it doesn't give a sell signal here, it will definitely give a sell signal here on the break of this support here. All right. All right. If you're not trading $10,000 on the trade, right? If you're managing your capital, right? You take that loss, and then we wait. We wait again for the next setup. All right. But the goal is this, because we have a new rotation, and like Gerald said, right? Because we have all these pairs, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pairs now, all breaking out, right? Not just one, not just two, not just three, but 9. Right? So we're at almost 90% of that whole group, right? And look here, new up, new up, new up, new up, right? We've now reduced our risk. And with trading is all about risk, right? Risk reward, right? Right?
Hey
So
David, if we can get back to trading Forex wherein the dollars are down and the yens are up, that's even better. And it looks like we are heading back into that direction where the US dollar doesn't go with the yen, it goes opposite. It looks like we're heading that way because in the last 5 months, 4 months, man, we've been all over the place.
it's been all
But if
over.
we if we can get the dollar down now, this is going to be even better rotation if the dollar can continue to lose. Mark down. If we can
Yeah.
continue to mark down on the dollar, that would be awesome. It is more of a confirmation to the yen rotation.
Yeah, if we and listen to Gerald. I just love it. I love it when you guys get it, right? When you get it, right? When you and a lot of you guys have gotten it, right? A lot of you guys have gotten it, right? So yeah, when you see that happen, if this turns red, and we have let's take a look here. We do have a sell short signal on the dollar. But yeah, if that dollar can come down, the dollar, even the euro, we can get all those in red there, and they come down. That's gonna push the yen pairs up, New Zealand pairs up. All right. But that's what we're looking for. That's the rotation. The rotation, yes, it's buy signals, but it's also what Gerald just mentioned, right? This is the real rotation when the whole market, right? So when these markets here, right here, that whole group, hold on. All right. That whole group here, just forget about the pound pairs. And that's why we have this here like this. That's why it's situated. Everything here is for a reason. That's why we have right here, right? We need all of these here to be in one direction. We don't care. And that's why I tell you guys, forget about, you can short, you can short, you don't even have to short, right? You don't even have to short. You can just go long. All right, because there's always a group to go long. When these are going long, these here, euro, euro and dollar will go short. When these are going long, these will go short, right? And if they're solid, and that's what Gerald is saying, right? If these are totally solid, it's early. It's early. It's a new rotation. Just happened today. All right. But if it plays out and all these here, especially the dollar pairs, right? Especially the dollar pairs, these all turn down, right? They all turn down red, and these are solid blue. We only have one that's red here, only one. That says a lot. That tells us a lot. All right. And it could happen. We could see Taj has been with us a long time. Taj has seen this, right? Taj has been with us 12 years or so, 10, 12 years. Back in those days, we had a lot of nice rotations, right?
Hey, David, is that an inverse on that ZAR yen? Because I saw the other ZARs trading a little bit different, but that ZAR yen is a little different, the one that's down.
Yeah, hold on one second here. Let's take a look. Now, before I leave, I mean, this makes sense, guys. This is important. This is how we make money.
Absolutely.
This is important, right? And where we talked about this last night, right? So waiting, being patient, waiting, we're not just waiting, right? We're waiting for the next rotation. So while most traders are trading these consolidations, right? Becoming very frustrated, right? We looked at the pairs and we looked at these consolidations, and guess what? There were almost no opportunities except for the CAD, right? By the time this rotation stop, and you notice you guys are fresh, right? I'm so proud of you guys because the majority of our traders, if not all our traders, waited patiently, right? So you preserved your capital, right? You were able to take care of some other business, right? While we waited, right? I said, hey, get your systems ready, and get your systems, get your capital. This is why we do that. This is why we wait, right? This is why we get our capital ready, right? This is why we get our systems ready, all right? So that when it happens, and it happened quickly, we talked about it last night, and here we are, right? And so the ZAR, let's see here. ZAR yen. Okay, let's see here. ZAR yen. All right, so ZAR yen, which is the other ZAR pair, Gerald? ZAR
yen is, and then we got a buy signal on US ZAR, Euro ZAR, and I think on pound ZAR. They all got buy signals.
Euro
Should be.
dollar ZAR.
They pulled back, but they all got buy signals on them.
Dollar ZAR. Yeah, I can tell you, I don't like this trade too much.
Yeah, it's not a good trade.
Yeah, I wouldn't. And with the major groups are here. These are the major groups, right?
Yep.
So yeah, I don't like this. I like the yen. I like the yen trade.
And the good thing about the ZAR trades is if they was a one-off, similar to like the CAD was a one-off, when we didn't have a lot of other trends to follow, but if we don't need to trade them really.
No, not when we have not when we have the yen.
Right? Yeah, we don't. I mean, they'll move, but we probably don't need. Yeah, we don't need to trade them.
Yeah. Not when you have the yen. The yen pairs. That's your best trade. So if you're going, if we ever have a rotation in the yen pairs, that's where we need to be. Yeah, that's going to be your biggest mover. Solid moves. Your pound yen has a lot of volatility. If you don't want that kind of volatility, the Aussie yen doesn't have as much volatility. New Zealand yen doesn't have a much. So you have a wider range of. I know we have traders that don't trade the pound yen or the euro yen because of the volatility. So they might find another pair, right? I don't like trading the dollar yen. All right, because it does its own thing, right? but I love trading the pound yen. I like the volatility. So you have options, but the whole group will move. All right, the whole group will move together. Okay, all right. Any questions on this? Any questions on this? This is how we catch the rotations.
So, David, can we go back to the beginning of? I know we just jumped right over it, and this was really good. But can we go back to the what was those, the indexes or the indices?
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, Dean. Okay. What's your question?
So I just wanted to see what the VIX looked like, and then the Dow against the Nasdaq. If uh, so, here's the thing. Usually, every day, first thing I wake up, I'm looking at the news, listening to the news, listening to the latest things on the Dow. All these charts I'm looking at, but I'm really focusing on news and how that impacts and moves these signals. I'm trying not to, and just looking at the charts now. So my initial question was, okay, yeah, and you mentioned earlier, something happened that just changed impacted the yen to just start moving, making a movement in a specific direction out of consolidation.
Okay.
So has anything changed from these charts that we looked at today as compared to, let's say, last Friday? And then my last question is, does it even matter?
Well, let me ask you, does it?
I'm going to say yes, it does.
It matters?
To me, it matters. Because I always want to know the why. And maybe I don't, my question is, do I need to always know the why? Or just do I put my, just react based
Hey,
on
David.
it?
David, let me say this. The Forex market is a $6 billion market per day. I don't know if we understand the magnitude of how big and how enormous that is, because if people understand the stock market compared to the Forex market, it doesn't even you don't have to have a lot of news, because the market in itself is a $6 billion a day market. Once it moves, it's gonna move. You don't need news. News is irrelevant. Now you can watch news for the entertainment aspect of it, but the actual market, the market in itself, is gonna move. It's a big market for a reason. It's a global market. Forex is huge. So when these rotations happen, they just happen, and you don't need news. But news is good if you want to watch it, listen to it. But it's irrelevant, because it's $6 billion going to go somewhere. And when $6 billion move hands and change places, it's gonna shock people. So you just got to think the market in itself is just a big market. Once it moves, we want to be on the right side of that move. And so that's why the systems, they show themselves, and we don't need to search for it, because if the market is going to do, we're going to see it right in front of us on our price action charts, and we just sit back and make the move. So yeah, we can look at news. Sometimes it's delayed. By the time you see it on the television, it's done already happened. So you're gonna sometimes miss it. And then on top of it, believe it or not, false news is a big part of market manipulation. They want people to get fake news. False news is part of the manipulation of the market. So why even listen to it? But $6 billion is a lot of money, and if it moves, we just want to be on the right side of the market for Forex.
Yeah, thanks, Gerald. And the way to look at the news is like this. So let's go back, and I do want to spend a little time on this. Zaye, you have a question, buddy, or a statement?
No, I have a more question than a statement, because since you're at the index,
okay,
I don't know if you have your Monster 30 up, but I wanted to see if you got a buy signal on the 240 somewhere on one of those systems on the US 30.
Okay, you guys notice Zaire? You guys notice Zaire. Zaire, when he comes in, right, he has a something specific that he's looking to do. Pay attention to this, right? When Zaire comes in and he has something to say, right? And I've noticed this, right? There's something specific that he wants. And what he's doing, he's looking for a trade. Hear me out. He's looking for something specific. He's not doing any analysis. Right? He's looking for something specific so he can trade it, so he can make money. All right? Start paying attention to that. Right? He comes on and he wants, forget about everything else. David, can I take a look at this? Because he's looking to take a trade. All right. He doesn't want to do all this analysis, right? He wants to come in, look for a trade so he can make some money. Just notice that. All right. So so let's see here. All right. So US 30, Monster US 30. Let's see here. Can you guys see my screen? Am I still with you? You guys still with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we see your monster.
Yeah,
Market
I'm trying
tracker.
to. Okay, it's freezing up again here. Where's Zaire? I don't know, but hold on one second. No. Let's try it again. Okay, so Zaire, here it is. Monster US 30 right here. What are you looking to do about it?
I am looking to see if we have a buy signal on the 240.
Okay, on the 240. Okay, so let's do this.
Go
I
ahead
don't
and
wanna-
switch our screen, David.
What's that?
Go ahead and switch our screen. We don't have your
Oh,
US
you don't
30.
have it? Okay.
Nope.
Yep.
Okay, 1 second. All right, let's try it again. Okay, how about now?
Yep,
Yes.
you good.
You good? Okay, all right. So rather than bringing in a let's see if we can do it right here. I thought TradeStation fixed this today. We'll do it here. Oh, I don't want to do that. Okay, hold on. All right, 240. Now we do have a buy signal on the daily Zaire. Okay, so Zaire, here's the 240 here. You're looking to go long it?
Yeah, I'm looking to go long, but I just wanted some confirmation because it seemed like it cannot break that support that we see down at the bottom right there.
Right here.
Yeah, it tested twice. One,
Yeah.
that's two, and it seems like we're still in a buyer's market, like a bull market.
Yeah,
So
I don't think I think you will need to get, and we're watching it closely. We did get a bounce, so we were hoping for a bounce, which we got. All right, so you didn't short that. Was it Walmart? You didn't short that Walmart, right? You didn't get puts on that.
no, I
No,
didn't.
okay, because I haven't looked at it, but I'm sure it went. I'm sure because the market was up today. This is an area here. We haven't called any buys yet in the US 30. I think you're gonna have to clear. I know it's not good news, but I think you're gonna have to clear this area in here, perhaps even here, to get a clear buy. So that's at 35,000, 36,000 to get a clear buy. It's just a lot of choppiness. um let's see here. See here. So here we are right here. Zaya, we're here right here. And look here. If you look here, and everyone else, right? Look here. Very, very choppy. Very, very choppy. All right, so look here. So here we are here. Here we are here. All right, remember sellers are here. Sellers are here. All right, you got some support in here, but this is the concern. All right, this is the concern. Even if we break through higher here, right, still very choppy. And this is on the daily. So just be careful, I would say, just be careful. And US 30, it moves, right? Very volatile, very volatile. Okay. You might find something on the 60-minute time frame. I definitely wouldn't do it on the 240. On the 60-minute, you might find a trade. And that will enable you to, get out quicker. All right, so let's take a look at the 60. Go back to the 60. Oh, hold on. We have the 60 here. Hold on. That's the daily 240, 60. All right, so Zaire, you do have a buy signal on the 60. Yeah, definitely not the 240. Let me clean this up. All right, so you see the 60 here, Zaire? Here is the 60 here.
I'm seeing a date.
Right here to the left. You see the 60 right here?
Yeah.
That's your 60-minute right there. So this is the daily here. That's the daily here. So you've got a buy signal right here and a break of this resistance. It's a high buy signal. You got a purple support and resistance here. All right. So, yeah, I would wait. Not a very good setup here. Okay. All right. Does that help, Zaire?
Yeah, I think it would be great if we got like a buy signal on the 240. That will help me more.
Yeah.
If that happens.
Yeah. This market is tricky, right? If we look here, and we got a bounce today, that's good, right? So we didn't break support, right, on the indexes. right? So that's good. And we'll finish up with this, guys. All right, so that's good. But we're not out of the water yet. So, Zaire, we were really testing support yesterday. I mean, what's today? Today's Monday, so Friday, right? Last week was a tough week for the markets, for the equity markets. So and that's why we don't have any defined trend yet. Let's see here. So I would just be careful. I would just be careful. We did get a nice bounce, right? We got a nice bounce here. So here is where we had support. All right, hold on. This is where we had support on the Dow. Let me bring this in. And we held the support on all of the indexes, so that's good. If we can get some follow through, that will help, right? And that will help the yen pairs too. The yen pairs like to move with the equity market. So here is where we held, right? We held support right here on the Dow, held support, this big candle right here. Big candle here is where buyers came in, right? So we held. Had we gotten some selling today, we could have, that might have closed. So that's good. But I would be careful with the US 30 for right now. All right. What's the lesson? The lesson, catch these rotations, right? Learn how to spot these rotations. Remember, and you guys can do this just like Gerald did, right? You guys can do this so that you have confidence. The more you guys do this, right, on your own, the more confidence you'll get, right? Right. So Gerald, good job, right? Good job, right? Catching this rotation and catching it early. But most importantly, right? Doing the work, right? And I know this is like a different language. Trading is like a totally different language, right? That we have to learn. So I know it's not easy, but guys, just look at what Gerald did. Good example, and these are really good trades. Really good example of how you progress, right? And a lot of you guys are progressing that way, all right? And you'll pick up little things, right? Little things here and there. So good job, Gerald. Okay, guys, I will see you guys tomorrow for our beginners class. All right. Take advantage of these yen pairs, right? We've been waiting a long time for a good rotation. And I would consider this even if it fails, doesn't matter. This is a really good setup, right, in the yen pairs. So you guys want to take advantage of those trades. Okay. Take care. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you, Dave.
Thanks, everyone. Good night.
All right. Good night. Bye-bye.